Hey, Lucy. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Hi, Jules.
Hi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Yourself?
Yeah, really good, thank you.
Love those.
Hello.
Hey, Lily. You're sideways.
Oh no. Hang on 1 second. Let me.
There we go. That's better.
I'm having to on my phone because my bloody laptop's the webcam stopped working as it does.
No.
1 second. Just check I'm on Do Not Disturb. Had to put a sign outside the door saying "Don't knock."
I've just seen it on Twitter.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Hello.
I was just worried my battery was going to go. I think I'll be okay.
Are we all okay on IT?
I think so.
We're getting there.
Let me just. Oh my God! Look at this thing. I've did my hair this morning. Hi girls.
Hello.
She'll tell me off.
Who are you talking to?
Lucy always tells me off. She says because I start talking, everyone can hear you.
Right.
Can they?
They actually can, yeah, because we've got 13 people on, so they can.
Oh, there are people on here already? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I can see 13 participants. Hello, good evening.
Exciting.
Oh yeah, sorry.
You look so smart, Lily. I love the jacket.
Otherwise, it's just like a bit baggy. So I look.
They're very cool. Very cool.
Good, aren't they?
You didn't know who Emma was, did you, when she came to pick it up?
No, she walked in. I was like, I've not seen. I knew. You know what it was? I thought you were coming in. So I was totally thrown. And then I was like, oh, God. Oh, no, did she think I was rude?
No, she was just like, she didn't know who I was.
I said, I thought you were coming in. Oh, sorry.
No, it doesn't matter. I was in the car with, yeah. Anyway.
What?
Well, first time
Lucy.
in weeks.
Lucy said give it a few more minutes.
This is the first time, Holly, that I've put a proper smart shirt on in 13 weeks. So thank you very much
Really?
for giving me an excuse to look smart.
How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel like a professional person again.
Oh, I know. Do you know what I realised today? I went outside in the fresh air in heels. Like I've worn them for the odd thing at work, but I've not actually worn. And I was like this across the garage. Awful.
Actually, that's Emma said, why does she look so nice? It's such hard work looking that nice.
Look, oh God, this is awful. I'm just waiting for Lucy to. Oh, actually, we can see who's here, can't we?
We've got 17 people with us.
Fabulous.
A few people. A few people came on. Well, we had quite a lot more sign up, but I guess some people come on late. Well, it's not actually even 6 o'clock yet. So.
How that's been going over the last couple of days.
How what?
How the other webinars gone over the last couple of days?
Yeah, really good. I mean, I think now everybody's kind of getting back into it. So I think like Monday we had 75 signed up. I think 50 came on.
That's good.
In the midst of lockdown, like you were getting pretty much everybody. And this, yeah. So, but you've got, and you've got to just try these things, haven't you? And I think it's all about engagement, isn't it? If people enjoy the content, then yeah. But we did have 45 signed up for this, but you don't know because people are actually back in work. They're not always able to finish on time. You know, when it was in lockdown, you could stop doing something and then, but you can't. You can't as such because that's the one thing. Like I was doing the Pilates and yoga online after work, and now I'm in the office. I'm struggling because I'll stay late.
Yeah,
I really want to keep that going. You know. So.
Yeah.
Hi, Sophie. Oh, Sophia's saying hello.
Hello.
Okay, here's Kate. Oh, do you like her outfits, Kate? Lily, show me your 5 a.m.
Do you want me to? Okay, I'll take it on.
Yeah, she's just an extra blazer.
I know, just trying to be a bit, bit extra. Jules, I thought you'd have your pink one on.
I did.
That was just for the office.
It was an office appearance, and then decided, it's You need the 5 a.m. club in its full,
Yeah.
full glory. Otherwise, you just get like an M and a C, and people will be like, "Ooh, what's that?"
Kate's saying she'd cross it out and put 6. Kate, we are going to discuss whether 5 a.m. is correct or not, because Léon doesn't like you're 6 a.m.
I'm definitely one of your crew, Kate. So I'm on your side there.
We'll take a vote at the end.
I had a lovely article sent to me this morning. So a friend of mine used to be head of sports science at United, and designed the mattress for the United players. And he's mad about us doing this club that we're promoting for getting up at 5 a.m. And this morning I woke up to an article that's called Rapid Eye Movement Sleep with Mortality in Middle-Aged and Older Adults. That was nice to wake up to. So I said, so basically you're telling me I'm going to die if I get up at 5 a.m. But we'll be discussing sleep patterns. We're 30 now. Lucy will be telling us whether to go or not, I think. We had 77 signed up by the end of today, so she said give it a couple more minutes.
No.
Because we're only, what is it, 6:02, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you think we could sell these? I'm thinking of starting a shop.
Do let us know.
I
in
don't know,
the
but
chat.
it's out.
I've just had a meeting about Shopify.
Yeah, they're
Branded
cool.
apparel. Branded apparel.
Apparel, yeah, I love it.
Everyone loved our pivot t-shirts and they were asking where we got them from.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love the brown colours. Works really well.
Yeah. Because these are colours that are in anyway, people would wear, wouldn't they? Oh, somebody here would
There you
definitely
go,
buy
first
them.
customer.
What about, like, I thought about like a 5 a.m. box, or the girls always say that I brainwash them with all the personal development. I thought like a brainwash box would be good. Like a journal,
Yeah.
a voucher, a protein bar. Just been speaking to Ollie the Chop, actually, for those of you that know Ollie the Chop, about doing us some protein chocolate in the office.
Exciting.
I love his stuff at the moment. It looks, I messaged him before actually saying the stuff he's been posting looks so good.
So his wife's just been in to see us because she, over lockdown, if anyone wants to have a look at Kim Minchin jewellery, and she does all house stuff. So I bought a load of wine glasses off her. I don't know if you've seen it, but they're amazing.
Yeah,
I bought them, and she came in and had a meeting with us on how we could set up Shopify, you know, for all our gifting stuff. Because people always like saying, oh, have you still got that like rose gold notebook, or have you still got the ice scraper? And we just thought, obviously we'd give stuff to clients, but it'd be nice if people could get them online as well. Because somebody asked where the staycation, if they could buy the staycation boxes we were sending out. What do you think?
Yeah.
We did have, yeah, Lucy says start. We did have 77 signed up, but I think you get that dropout.
Yeah. Well, you get people joining, coming and going, won't you?
Yeah. Should we go?
Let's
Yeah.
go. Cool. Well, thank you for joining us. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Holly's Make Events 5 a.m. Club webinar. Holly, do you want to do a quick intro, and then I'll introduce Juliet and Lily?
Yeah. So shall I intro me or
Yeah.
yeah.
Quick intro, yeah.
I think I know everyone here. Yes, Holly Moore, CEO and founder of Make Events and HM Events. And yes, I'll let Juliet and Lily introduce themselves, but we started a 5 a.m. club halfway through lockdown, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So.
Cool. And we have Juliet and Lily. So Juliet is a senior events manager at Chemical Watch, where she works on international events. And more recently, she pivoted to virtual conferences. She's over 10 years, oh, woof, woof. She's got over 10 years experience and is also an industry blogger, speaker. And earlier this summer, she founded Goal Getters. So in short, you're a pretty busy person. We've also got Lily Shippen. Lily is and whose dog? Is that your dog, Lily?
Lily's dog.
So sorry, I'm trying to mute myself.
Lily.
Sorry about that. I have tried to stop the woofing.
Just talk through it.
The joys of living on your own.
So we have Lily. Lily is the managing director of a Manchester-based boutique secretarial recruitment company, Lily Shippen. Her business specialises in placing PAs, EAs, and executive support staff with companies across the UK and overseas. She's also set up LS Virtual in January, which connects virtual assistants with companies and entrepreneurs, and is also the host of the Power of the PA podcast, which you also launched during lockdown, Lily. Again, another very busy person. So, Paul, how did you meet Juliet and Lily? I think it's probably a good starting point.
So Juliet, I think we must have started following each other on Instagram, because obviously Juliet's in the events industry. And then literally this time last year, Compact, which is one of our industry events, we both shared the stage. I think I hosted the stage, didn't I? And you were a speaker. And then as we followed each other on Instagram, honestly, the coincidence is we literally owned about 10 of the same slogan t-shirts. We'd both been to Girl Boss Rally in America. And there were loads of, like, she's got dash hounds. I absolutely love dash hounds. There were loads of similar. Like, we'd go to Barry's and she'd go to Washington Barry's and I'd been to Washington Barry's. So we only met physically once, but then have just kept in touch. And before we started the 5 a.m. club, I just said to Juliet, like, how the hell are you managing to do like your full-time job and also all the other stuff you're doing, like all your passion projects? Because I'm struggling to manage like my full-time job. So what we did was on a Sunday, we started to just have coffee at maybe whatever time and plan our week together. And that was before the 5 a.m. club started. We have got really close over lockdown. And then actually when we were starting to be allowed to go and see people, I drove down to Shrewsbury the other week and we met up for like a socially distant brunch. So that was really nice. And then Lily, so we obviously ran the Manchester PA Awards for 5 years, and Lily was one of the head sponsors. And then we started, this is a Barry's thing, don't I? So I would be like, you go to Barry's, and then we'd go for coffee, and we had like loads in common, even though I'm a lot older than Lily. I think we meet in the middle because I'm immature and Lily's mature. And then like just randomly at the end of last year, I'd seen Oprah Winfrey was doing a tour in LA, and I love going away on my own and don't normally go to that like with people. I would happily go on my own, but something in me told me to ask Lily and Lisa Morton, who you'll probably know from Roland Johnsonville PR, just WhatsApp and said, like, ladies, you know how we're living our best life. She wants to go to LA in February, and that's what we did. And then it's weird how things happen that you know, we've been such a support to each other in lockdown with having our own businesses. And then we were struggling a bit with, I'm sure we'll touch on it, probably drinking too much wine at the start of lockdown. And we saw Juliet was doing this like 5 a.m. club. I know we'll come to this. And that's how then it became kind of a 3 thing.
Oh, no, that's great. Let me just obviously say thank you to everyone for joining us. If you do have any questions throughout the whole webinar, please just type them in and I'll chuck them out to the ladies as and when appropriate. So Jules, let me kick off by asking you a question. I think you've been doing the 5 a.m. club for quite some time, haven't you? Talk me through what inspired you to do it, and how did it come about that all 3 of you are the lockdown 5 a.m. heroes?
Oh, so yeah, I mean, I've always liked getting up early. I am a morning person, and I find that I am the most productive I can be first thing in the morning. So it's never really been a struggle for me. And for the last couple of years, I've sort of been going to early gym classes because that's when I enjoy moving my body. It's really the only time I can do a killer workout is first thing in the morning. So it's been part of my routine. In the last couple of years, I've been traveling internationally a lot for business. So I've been juggling jet lag and early flights. And, you know, when you're working long event days, if you do want to squeeze in a workout or some you time, you have to make time in the day because those days are long already. So in lockdown, I committed at the start that I was still going to stick to my routine because I've never been sort of I have to do this at this time and very strict with my routine, but I wanted something that I could control in a world where everything was going out of control. So just carried on waking up early, carried on doing my normal morning routine. And I've been quite open about it because I thought it might inspire others. And then the girls reached out and said, actually, you know, we do like waking up early, but how about having the accountability and doing it together? And that's where we kind of joined forces and formed not only an accountability group, but a friendship as well. And it's been great to have Holly and Lily by my side first thing in the morning.
We'll go to bed and go, see you at 5. And can we just say, Juliet and Lily have never actually met in real life.
You're not amazing.
I know.
Excited to
You've known each
soon.
other for ages, don't you?
Yeah. I think when you're speaking to someone at 5 a.m. every morning, you feel like, yeah, we feel like we've already met. For sure.
Yeah. And Lily, have you always been an early riser, or how have you got behind all this?
Yeah, not at all. I've tried to be. I think at the start of this year, I was really kind of, as everyone does, like wrote my goals down for the year, and one of them was to try and get up a lot earlier with Hollis, and she talks about that a lot about the I think so I'll just, you know, put my alarm off, or you know, sleep in a little bit longer. So I've definitely not been a morning person. I think I've always got up a bit earlier than kind of needed to, but definitely never 5 a.m. before. Yeah. Feels like I'm going to the airport, but I'm not.
So give us all a flavour. 5 a.m. the alarm goes off. What do each of you do?
Well, it's the first person normally to say hi, and then if someone's like 5 minutes late, it's like, oh, someone's a bit late this morning. And then and then we'll either like, it might be like, we might have a little bit of, oh my god, I didn't sleep, did you sleep, which Barry's class are you doing, what time are you working out, what are you doing this morning, and we have a bit of a chat. And then depending, I think the girls will fill the gaps in. I don't want to say too much, but depending what everybody's decided to do with those extra couple of hours, we'll kind of be checking in or not. I mean, Lily might sometimes say, girls, I want my phone off this morning, so my phone's going off for a couple of hours. She's probably just going back to bed, but she pretends she's having her phone off to like have some me time. Yeah. What do you think, Jules? What would you add in?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, some days, because I work with people all over the world, my inbox is often full first thing in the morning. So sometimes, you know, the temptation's always to hit that first, but I try not to. But I'm always, you know, I do get up, I get out of bed and I get moving in some way. So it's taking myself off downstairs, usually making a double espresso before anything else. But goal setting, I mean, it's huge for you two as well. So goal setting is always on the list. And I might just work on a project. So it might be something a bit creative, a bit of blogging, or I go for a walk, I listen to a podcast, and just try and sort of feed my soul and my creative side of my brain that way, before doing a workout class a little bit later. And then, you know, suddenly it's 8, 9 o'clock and I've achieved so much more before I actually start my full-time job.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd say the same.
Yeah, you go, Lil.
No, I would say there's some days that I definitely struggle and I'll just sit in bed, and like this morning I just did like the social media like in bed at 5, but then I think the most productive days for me are where I actually get out of bed and then I'll tend to do like an hour's work and try and get on top of my emails from like 5 till 6, and then maybe do like a project like normally I'll out at 7, so at least I think that's where I sometimes would struggle later in the day. Normally for me it's like actually just getting on top of emails, and there's something about like replying to emails or, you know, sending them and you're not getting the response straight back. You feel like you can actually finally get on top of stuff, so that's been such a good thing for me.
I think for me it was so I've always worked out before work, but maybe it might be 7 o'clock or something like that. And I think at the start of lockdown, I was kind of sleeping, or lying in bed, you know, and then doing my workout. And what I actually find is that although I like working out early, I'm not good at getting up and just getting in the gym. I actually like to have a coffee, sort the house out, do bits. So for me, it might just be do my social like early in bed, then that's done. And because I'm not as good at night, I might work quite late at night, but might have not, you know, tidy the house, empty the dishwasher. I might just get on top of that so the house is tidy when I leave for work, and then I'll go and do my workout. But even now if I do, so when we started the 5 a.m. club, I was booking PT for 7:30, so I moved it to 6:30 some of the days, but I still get that time before. And I think, it's just been great having that accountability. You know, some days we've been at it, you know, like it might be that we do get up and are really productive, but it's not, it might be just like Lily says, you sit in bed with a cup of tea and do a bit of social, but at least you've got this kind of set thing that you're doing every day. And, you know, I'm isolated, I am isolated on my own, Lily was, and it was just nice to have that in the morning, you know, if you've had a not good night's sleep or you feel a bit down, like there was somebody to talk to. And I think like what Juliet, you'll probably touch on it, but what I found really interesting that you said was, do you want to say about like, it's your only time to yourself really? Just talking like with different challenges in lockdown. Me and Lily have been on our own, but Juliet's with her husband, so.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I'm moving house soon actually, but I live in a 1-bedroom house with my husband and my 2 sausage dogs. And my husband's a restaurant manager. So in normal life, when he's working all the time, we only have a couple of sort of nights a week where we're both in the house. So suddenly I've gone from having so much of my own time, and I do love being by myself, to suddenly having, you know, my husband, who obviously I love dearly, I love spending time with, and that's been fabulous. But to do my own projects and my blogs, I always feel guilty doing that in the evenings when I finish work. So it's been great for me to actually have my me time first thing in the morning and do those things. You know, some days it might be watching trash TV, and that's okay too, but just having that time for me. And I think that is something that I'd highlight. You know, it isn't all hustle. We use this word, we throw it around a lot, and it's not all about the hustle. Sometimes it is just making that cup of coffee and sitting and enjoying the silence when no one else is around. That's as important.
And I love the way all three of you are big advocates of doing whatever you feel you want to do in the morning, because there's so many of these flag wavers out there that say, right, the first hour of the day's got to be 20 minutes doing this, 20 minutes doing this, 20 minutes doing that. For me, I'm totally into being productive, and I love the idea of it, but to be told that I have to do certain things every morning would just turn me totally off it. So I love how authentic you guys are, and how you just do what you want to do. And if you want to lie in bed, have a cup of tea and watch some trashy telly, do it. That's your time. You've woken up an hour earlier to do that. So fair play to you. No, that's great.
It was funny on Sunday because I just naturally woke up really early on Sunday, not 5, but at 6. I thought, I'm just going to get up because I haven't had a drink. And I baked on Sunday morning, you know, and I didn't think I'd get everything that I wanted to do done on Sunday. And I did, just because naturally I'm probably waking up a bit earlier anyway.
Yeah. But I think also it's worth mentioning that the 5 a.m. club is a concept from Robin Sharma, I think it is, and he does talk about the kind of 20 minutes meditation, 20 minutes, it's split like an hour split into 3. And I do, yeah, like you say, I think it's we've all found that it just is whatever you want to do, rather than having that. For me, 20 minutes just wouldn't be enough to focus on one thing, and it's just nice to kind of know that you've got the option and not feel guilty.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm not, as I mentioned, I'm not quite a 5 a.m.er. I get up at 6 every morning. Well, I'm prodded by 3 pussycats that we've got who want feeding. So at 6 I'm up, and I love it. You know, I'd feed the cats, make myself a coffee, make my fiance a cup of tea, and then I'd do all my social and all that. And I've started meditating during lockdown. I never thought I would have that free time or headspace to do so. And that's my 20 minutes just sitting there and enjoying it. And then I'm off out lifting weights or running. But I would never have found that extra 20 minutes in my day if we weren't in lockdown. So that's a new habit that I formed during this period of time, which is great.
Somebody's just said about, do we do the 5 a.m. club Monday to Sunday? No, we don't do. We do it Monday to Friday.
Yeah, we're allowed the weekend.
Yeah. You must wake up early, though. You must still wake up. Your body must be in tune to wake up at 5ish.
Yeah, Saturday for me is always a Sunday. I think once I've kind of got into it, I will sleep in a little bit longer, but Saturday I'm up like really easily at 5. And it's funny because I always find Thursdays and Fridays a real struggle towards the end of the week to get up, and then Saturday it's like great.
Typical.
What if you're not a morning person? What if you are really productive person, but the morning and you just do not go together. What advice would you give to people that are maybe watching this and aren't like you guys?
I mean, I'd say, and we've talked about this, I think it's really important to understand your own energy levels, and there's quite a good like template you can do to, you know, you take note of how you feel during the, you know, the day when your peaks and troughs are. Now, I had a girl that always used to work for me, Amy, and she'd come into work at like 9, and she would honestly mess about, and she'd openly say it till about 11 because her brain's not working, but she was always in the office till like 9 at night, and she loved it. And I think, so I don't think it's necessary. I think it's about knowing your body. Like, I would never, you know, when people say, oh, I've stayed up to work on a pitch till 1 in the morning, I would never do that, because my brain would not be working at that time. I'd sooner get up at 5, work on it then, and finish at 10. So I think what this is just about is about establishing some kind of routine where you have this time, but it could be the opposite way round. It could, you know.
Yeah.
And we went to a conference, didn't we, girls, at the start of lockdown, a virtual conference, and one of the speakers talked about mini days as well. Now, this wouldn't work for me, but he segmented a 12-hour awake into 4-4. No, that's wrong, isn't it? Or whatever it was. So he had like a 6 till 10, a 10 till 2, and a 2 till 6, and a 6 till 10. So we divided the day up till 4. There's not obviously much sleep involved in that. And it was like, say it's like what a mini day of marketing, a mini day of this. So I think there's loads of different methods. This just probably worked for us because we're early birds. But I think if you're a night owl, then equally make it work the other way. You know, they talk about your side hustle being 5 till 9, don't they? That you do like your day job 9 till 5, and then your side hustle 5 till 9. Whereas I would do mine 5 till 9 in the morning. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Few questions coming in. Lily, let me chuck it at you. So, sleep, getting enough sleep, important. 8 hours sleep being mentioned. Do you still manage to get that? And if so, what time do you go to bed to ensure you get that amount of sleep?
Yeah, so sleep's quite a big one for me. So we do laugh about it quite a lot, because I don't know how Holly functions, as she doesn't sleep as much. She says it's because I'm tall, but I'm not sure.
She's very tall.
So I need extra sleep to grow. But no, I need to sleep. So I need 8 hours. So I've started actually putting my phone on do not disturb from about 7:30 at night, so that then I kind of wind down to 8:30, and then I'll try and be in bed for 9. I do find that quite difficult, because especially at the moment it's still light outside, and obviously just really kind of switching off properly. But for me, if I'm in bed around the 9 o'clock mark, then that makes me still feel, you know, fresh the next day, basically. But I would say that that's I suppose, it's important to me, but it's also been, you know, towards the end of the week, that's something that I have to take into consideration when I've got, like, well, you know, I haven't had social plans, but when I do start to have social plans, you know, obviously that's, you know, that might become a bit more difficult for me personally. But yeah, for me, it's 9 till 5 a.m.
Cool. Jules, I've got a question for you.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued. How does knowing you're getting up at 5 a.m. affect what you do the previous night?
Massively. Your morning starts the night before. So I am one of those annoying people that has their workout outfit laid out on my bathroom radiator in the order that I put it on. I have my work clothes if I'm going into the office. Because it just makes it quicker. Like, the last thing that I want, or certainly Jake, my husband, wants, is me just shuffling around trying to choose which pair of leggings to wear. So I just try and do as much as I can. Now, I will say that I am bad with my phone. It's something that I'm desperately trying to get better at. So I'm trying now to be off my phone at 9 p.m. every night, and also to charge it downstairs so that it's not just, you know, easy to grab if I wake up in the middle of the night or something. So that's something I'm working on, and I would like to do what Lily does and you know, hit do not disturb when I can, when work commitments allow, definitely.
Lily's really good at that with the phone, I would say.
Yeah. Well, I think I've become a bit stricter, just I think because I just found that during lockdown I just started scrolling so much, and then, you know, I'd be scrolling through, like, just going through Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter every night and spending a couple of hours on it, and I just thought that needs to stop, because I think you see the screen time coming through at the end of the week, and it was going up and up. So yeah, it's definitely helped the last couple of weeks for me.
Yeah. What about you, Holt? How does it affect your what you do the night before? And when we get back to normal, and you're running these events till whatever ungodly hour, are you still going to maintain this kind of lifestyle?
Yeah, well, I mean, they laugh at me because the other morning I woke up and went, "Hi guys, I've had 45 minutes sleep." Because if I go to bed early, I will wake up at 1:30 in the morning. So I reckon I need 5 to 6 hours sleep. And I am bad on my phone as well. So don't get me wrong, I'm not like Juliet. When I wake up at 5, I don't jump out of bed. I can wake up. So when we go back to doing events, I am in the fortunate position now. I'm more of my finish will be more like 1 o'clock, whereas some of the girls are there till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. But that's, that's the nature of, I guess, going up the ranks and stuff. But yeah, I'll have to adjust it then. But I still, when the events are in the week, we still have to get up and do a full day's work anyway. So I think it will just have to adjust it, but just having that, the standard is the 5 a.m. But then depending on social, or for me and tools like events that we're running, we would change it. But I just think it's that, it's like fitness, isn't it? You stick to it as much as you can around other priorities.
Yeah.
I've got a really good question on mindset here that someone shared. Basically saying that all three of you have got so much get up and go and energy that you've been sharing, and definitely in such trying times recently. So this lady's come off social media altogether, and she just wondered, have you ever wanted to just hide away and switch off social media? And if you've got any tips for this lady to get back on the horse, get her mojo back to face the world again.
Can I just ask, I don't know if she'll be able to say, is it because, so I think there's different reasons people come off, isn't there? I think sometimes they look at things and it's making them, they're comparing and it's making them feel bad about themselves, or sometimes it's just like digital fatigue. So I think it depends, doesn't it? But
well, let's see if she comes back with anything on that. But fire away with any pearls of wisdom that you can share, please.
I'd say curate your feed, and that's across all social platforms. So Instagram is a highlight reel, we all know that, right? But make sure that people that you're following align with you and your values and your beliefs, and what you want to be taking in. And this doesn't just stand for people, right? This is brands as well. Brands that are putting messages out, if they don't make you feel happy and make you feel your best self, unfollow. Friends from high school that you feel like you need to still have on Facebook, do you? They're not going to notice if you unfriend them, or just turn the notifications off, anything like that. You are in control of your social media platforms, is what I'd say. And sometimes it can be a little difficult to understand that, but when you do, something clicks and you can just make it work for you and follow the things that make you happy. And know that social media can be a really annoying place at times, but it can also be a great place and connections can be made. So just make it work for you is my advice.
what about you, Lil?
Yeah, I think I do go through times where I do want to come off it, and I think so I manage our business social media, and if at times I've said to my friends before, actually, if it wasn't for the business, I would come off it, from just the scrolling through, but also I think in lockdown at the start, especially, I was really struggling with, seeing what everyone else was doing. Not that anyone was really doing anything, but it can play with your mind a little bit. I think for me, I just find if I have a break from it for a week or so, or at least I just reduce the time. So I've actually started putting locks on my so on your screen time app, you can actually set so I've actually got it so that Instagram, it says after I've been on it for 20 minutes a day, which you can ignore it, but then at least it's telling you like you're on it again. And I think sometimes we'll be scrolling through and you don't even realize you're on the app. I know that sounds mental, but for me that has helped, because I do struggle with it at times. But then also, like Jules said, it can be such a great place, and the connections, even that we made doing the Rise conference together, and you see everyone interacting. I also don't want to miss out on that. So I think it's just being aware of how much time we're spending on it.
I think for me, I do love social media, and I found it a great comfort a lot of times. And my PT said to me early on, because I'd maybe do a PT in the morning, be crying or whatever. And I said to her, I think at the start of lockdown, I wish I could put it on social, because I don't want people thinking it's just, because everything we post make events pretty happy, and events are pretty happy. And she said I would share it if I were you, because I think people would enjoy that. not enjoy it, but you know what I mean. And I started just doing it. I never did video on Instagram until lockdown, and then I thought, you know, like I will, because it's easier sometimes than typing and whatever. So I've kind of braved that, and then I just would start to do a post like, actually, I've been having a bit of a crap time, and I've got really good feedback for that, and then people would come back with positive stuff. So for me personally, I found it really, I've got a lot of joy from it actually over lockdown. And yeah, I am guilty of scrolling too much, 100%, and I'd like to stop that. But I do think that's also a little bit of a result of living on your own, not being able to see someone at the start of, you know, like 8 weeks, wasn't it, or something. So hopefully I'll break that habit as we start to get out of it more. But yeah, I think there's nothing to the lady's point. I think it's absolutely, you know, it's totally up to you. Like, don't feel you have to go back on it because you feel you should. I think it's all about what I say in life about everything: friendships, clients, work, everything. I will do something until it makes me unhappy, and if it makes me unhappy, then it goes. And that was my big mantra, my big takeout from lockdown is less shoulds, more wants. So in your heart, if you don't want to be on it, don't be on it. Like, it's like, I'm not going to go into TikTok. That is where I'm going to draw the line. And we've had a conversation today of, should we be on TikTok? Well, maybe we should, but do we want to? No. So I think it's going from your gut instinct, what you want to do. If you don't want to do it, don't do it.
Yeah, good. Well, hopefully that's answered the question. Just a couple of quick fire, just about routines. Obviously, Lily, you mentioned you have your phone on mute from 7:30. What other evening routines, habits do you all have prior to, you know, going to bed to make sure you get up at 5 a.m? And how do you wind down?
I've got no routine in my life at all. I'm just the least routine person you would ever meet in your life, ever.
Just wing it.
That's all I've got to add.
Yeah, I think mine's more, I wouldn't say I have a routine. I think it is just the phone going away, but I'll do anything, you know, different things in the evening, you know, now that I can see some friends, you know, meet for a walk or whatever, like I've been doing that. But I wouldn't say like I have a strict routine. I think Monday to Wednesday tends to be a bit more boring than the rest of the week, but
I've been trying to read more before bed. I love reading, but it's the one thing when I'm busy. Well, a lot of things slip when I'm busy, but that's a big one. So actually, I've been trying to read more, even if it's just a few pages before bed, because it just sort of chills me out, gets me, you know, away from the screens. So that's my routine thing that I'm trying to do every night.
Oh, brilliant. Right, another question, Holly. What advice would you give to people who are thinking about starting off the 5 a.m. club, and how would you approach it differently now if you were to start it this week, knowing what you know?
So I think that it's a bit like life when I first started going to the gym, and it was like I used to say to myself, if I can step foot in the gym 3 times a week, it doesn't really matter what I do, but I'm stepping foot in the gym 3 times a week. So what I would do is, if you're committing to a time, don't necessarily think it has to be 5 a.m, it might be 6 a.m. like you, but say, right, well, maybe it's 3 nights, maybe it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday to start with, see how that goes and how you feel, and ease yourself into it. And also, don't think, right, I'm going to do the 5 a.m. club and it's got to be gym, this, that. Maybe it is, I set my alarm for 5 and I only snooze twice, and I make sure I'm out of bed for 6. So it's like baby steps, because you've kind of got to condition your body. And then I think you have to also think, why are you doing it? Like, I didn't necessarily do it to get more work done. I did it because I was feeling low, and I was drinking too much in the week, which I would never have done before lockdown, and I was inspired and motivated by Juliet, and I kind of needed something. So then the benefits of, it's not why you want to do it, and then the benefits come a bit more along the line, if you know what I mean.
I think you just mentioned the fact that you're doing it together, the camaraderie of the 3 of you doing it together, it pulls you along, doesn't it? You don't want to be the person that's let the side down. So if there are people listening and you've got pals who are considering it, get a little triumvirate of you going together, or 3 or 4 of you. I mean, that
it does make it makes a difference.
Yeah, never want to be the last one.
I dive out of bed to get my alarms. I'm like, I'm so competitive.
I know. It's,
Do you know
it's
what's
really
also
helpful.
nice? I don't know if you girls agree. Tell you what's also nice has been the odd morning when someone's not appeared till 6:30, and you know there's something wrong. So I think the other week, Lil was having a bit of a down day, and so I came off the group and was like, "Are you okay today?" So in a way, sometimes people, if we didn't have that and you were having a down morning, nobody's going to know that because everybody's getting on with their day. And so I think for us, it's been quite nice to, you notice if someone's not there, it's probably a reason, and you can look out for them. So that's been quite nice.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that all three of you would say there's so many benefits and upsides to doing what you're doing. If you were to put your hand on that, I'm sure there must be some downsides to it. What would each of you, what one downside would you say, what negative impact does it have on your life if it does, or what would a drawback be to doing it?
I'm happy to start by perception with others, and people thinking that you're doing it for show. I mean, I've been told off for sending work emails that early in the morning. I've had people saying, oh, you're only doing it for Instagram. You're only doing it to post a picture and then you're going back to bed, or you're only doing it because you want to look like you're a hustler. Like, no, I'm doing it for me. I'm absolutely doing it for me. So that is the downside for me.
How do you respond? How have you responded to those naysayers, or have you just ignored them?
No, I haven't ignored them. I've brought it up and said, and I've explained it because it is a weird concept for a lot of people, and it's a bit crazy really, but I've said, no, this is what I get done and this is why I do it, and this is how it's helped me through lockdown, because lockdown has been absolutely just a nightmare for so many of us, and having something to control and having something to own and to make yours and completely, you know, be a part of your life has been so important, certainly for me. So I've made sure that people understand the value. I'm not expecting them to join me and wake up early, but I'm doing it for me, and I think it's important that people know that.
I love that. I love that answer, Jules. Good on you.
Yeah.
Are you, Holes? Lil, what are your thoughts?
Lil, you go first.
I think the drawback for me would probably be losing my evening. I think, you know, for the fact that I have to be in bed to get my sleep, I think sometimes you're like, oh, it's 9 o'clock already, and you feel like, I think you can, I suppose the work, especially if I'm starting work early, it can feel like a really long day, and then you're kind of not getting that, I suppose, you know, that downtime. But I would say that the benefits totally outweigh it, and I think for me, you know, lockdown has, like everyone, it has been really, really tough, and I feel proud that we've like achieved this, and that we've stuck to it, and I've never stuck to something like this before for this long. So yeah, it's that totally outweighs the evening.
Holly?
I actually don't have any downsides, I've got to say, because I've always been an early bird anyway. It's just put more routine into that early bird. It stopped me doing the, oh, I won't bother today, you know, blah, blah. So for me, and I feel like I really look forward to my weekends more now, because it's like, oh, I'm excited that, you know, I don't have to set the alarm on a Saturday. So for me personally, at the moment, no downsides, I would say.
Cool, that's great. So I'm really intrigued to know what's been your best idea or your biggest piece of inspiration that each of you have had as well at that sort of time of day.
I created my last sort of side hustle business on a morning walk at 5 a.m. Event goal getters. So that just came through lockdown, came to me because mornings are my creative time, and I might not have thought about it otherwise.
Fantastic.
I've not had any ideas at that time. My brain doesn't really work. I sort of come round in that time. I like that time to come around, do all my bits, like the mindless stuff really that I need to do in the house and bits and bobs like that, and then go to the gym. So I haven't really had any creative ideas, I would say, at that time.
Yeah.
No, same for me. So I haven't had like any epiphanies or anything like that, but I think what I have had is it's at that time it's given me like my mind feels so much clearer than it does the rest of the day, and I've actually been able to get projects done that I've been putting off like way before lockdown. So yeah, that's quite good.
Good, fantastic. Right, lockdown. You must have had vices during lockdown. You come on, you Emmas. What vices have you been accustomed to during lockdown? Who wants to kick off? Holly, I'm going to go for you.
Alcohol, although So I've said about this a lot. So 2.5 years ago, I did 5 months without alcohol, and I made the decision that I wouldn't drink at home on my own. And I managed that until lockdown, and then that all went out the window. So I went from like having planned, I'd had my month planned of when I was going to drink. I was normally quite good with that. And then in lockdown, it just went absolute, like, because we started off with our Friday night Zooms. Yeah, I mean, like annihilated, had shots, would walk down to the kitchen in the morning and like, oh my God, were the people in my house I didn't even know about. And then it started off in the week. And then before we did 5 a.m, me and Lily were really mad because we were like, we deserve a wine, don't we? We should have wine. Let's have wine. And we phone each other and talk about the wine. And so that, on Friday, I'll have done 4 weeks with no drink because I just wanted to convince myself I hadn't formed this quite, slight alcoholism. And then my other one is, oh my God, nibbling at night. It's just horrendous. It's like emotional eating. Like, oh, I've no one to talk to, so I'll have chocolate and, and all stuff like that. And that I know that's emotional eating. I know it is, and I need to knock that on the head, really.
Lily?
Yeah, you know what, mine are exactly the same. Mine is definitely the wine. It got to the point where I had Majestic wine on speed dial, and was then
tell them about the Deliveroo that we did.
Oh yeah, well, when we were finally able to be reunited, I was working at the office with Holly, and we Deliverooed a bottle of wine, and then we Deliverooed another bottle because it was, the hangover the next day was bad, but that's been mine. And also, emotional eating. And I think it's I just trick myself, like, I deserve this, I've had a really bad day, I deserve this. Oh, and then I'd kind of seek the approval of everyone else to eat a cake, and it was really bad.
We're very similar though, aren't we?
Yeah, all or nothing.
Good. What about you, Jules?
I mean, I've certainly had my food and drink vices as well, but I'm really trying to still stick to less drink in the week, more drink at the weekends. Mine's been online shopping. I thought, I mean, it's not terrible, don't worry, but I thought, oh, I'm going to save so much money in lockdown not going out, but it's just so easy, isn't it? Amazon, delivery Amazon drivers know by name. ASOS. I'm not going out anywhere, but buying clothes for webinars. But I think that's probably been my only vice. It's not going to kill me, is it? I'm not.
It's better than
taking
alcohol
drugs.
And food.
Yeah. It's not awful. So we live and we learn, don't we? I'm still here.
Well, so I'm in West Didsbury, and I think all our neighbours were all having to go out really quietly with to empty our bottles.
God, yeah.
Nearly every other day, it's just cracking into.
How have you done on alcohol? Have you been good?
Well, with the great weather, that doesn't help, does it? So it was getting to about 5, half 5, and I was having a couple of large gin and tonics most weekdays. So I put a self-imposed embargo onto Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I love my IPAs. I love punk.
Yeah.
They have the alcohol-free BrewDog. So I have one of them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and it feels like you've had a beer but with no alcohol. But I'm literally twitching at 6 o'clock Thursday evening. I can't wait to chuck a beer down there.
I can't wait for my first drink on Friday for 4 weeks.
Yeah. Oh, watch out, Wilmslow.
Yeah.
You're not going out, are you?
No, we're actually doing something here at the office, socially distanced. But one of my friends bought me a bottle of my absolute favourite Sharma Perrier Rosé. She bought it me for my birthday, so that's what I'm going to have. I put in a sticky label on it so nobody else swipes it.
What about cheeky siestas in the afternoon? You must hit a wall.
I have to admit, I have had one or two.
That's because you're tall.
I can't sleep in the day.
I had one, didn't I? The other week, I had one, and I had to WhatsApp the girls at work and say, I'm going to just be totally honest with you, I really feel like an ananas. I don't know what's wrong with me. So I've had one in lockdown at 2 o'clock.
I can't do it.
Fair play to you.
No, I'm not. I mean, I need to get better at my sleep as well. I'm a sort of 5-6 hour a night person, but the thing is with me, exercise fuels me. So if I've moved my body in the morning, whether that is a Barry's class or it's just going for a long walk, I carry on through the day. If I haven't exercised and I haven't woken up early, by 3-4 o'clock I crash, and I don't need sleep because napping makes me feel like I'm like been transported to another world, but I need sugar or caffeine. So yeah, that's helped me, I think.
I'm definitely not as hardcore as you lot. I think I was either a cat or Spanish in a former life, because
Love that.
Do you have a little snooze, do you?
it's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Just had my lunch, so I need a quick 10-15 minutes. But then I'm like wide awake again. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Have you heard about a nappuccino? Where you meant, so you're meant to have you not heard about a nappuccino? So you're meant to have a little espresso or a black coffee or whatever, and go for your little snooze if you're tired, and it wakes you up after 40 minutes and you feel fine. A nappuccino.
Ooh.
Super snoozes every day. Yeah, love that.
Oh, yeah.
Heard it here first.
Do we have more questions coming in? Let's get some more questions in from anyone who's got any burning questions to ask. I've got a few more questions. Is there anything that you did before lockdown that you won't go back to doing post lockdown? Anything you can think of?
Go on, you go, Jules.
Saying yes to too much. I think now suddenly I was panicking about lockdown because I, as both of the girls do, live my life at 100 miles an hour. But I've realised that actually I'm in control of my time, and I'm not saying yes to everything. I'm saying, a huge yes to the things that I really, really care about. But I'm curating my time a lot better. So I won't be going back to, yes, I'll go out for drinks. Yes, I'll speak at this event. Yes, I'll help you out with a favour. No, it's my time. So I'll be using it. I'm a very kind person. I do help people, but not all the time.
That's good. Great. Lily?
Yeah, I think before, I was kind of darting around all over the shop and going to London and I was getting the train at 6 or whatever as early as I could do. So I think maybe I'll try and actually be a bit kinder to myself after lockdown. I think that I did probably get it a bit too much before, but yeah, I'd say I've kind of stuck to a lot of the things, and yeah, not too much would need to be changed, I don't think, for me.
Cool.
I think mine is, and I think most people know, we're advertising for a managing director. So I think for me, and I've talked about this quite a lot, to fight for make events, I need to be going back to enjoying the job in the way I should do, and I hadn't been. So for me, that's massive, because at the moment, because we haven't got live events, I'm doing so much like creative stuff, getting ideas off the ground I've had for years, working with the marketing and brand team, whereas before I was so much in the day-to-day and I'm not good at. So for me, that's good. It's a massive change for me. It's a change in the business, because I just couldn't go back to where it was before.
Fantastic. Just had a really good question come in, actually. Do you think you'd be as successful at the 5 a.m. club without the support of each other? Or is that...
No way.
100% no.
Do you all feel like that?
Yeah, it's so helpful. I mentioned before I got up early anyway, but it would go between 5 a.m. to 6:30 to 7.
Exactly.
So had a few, got a hangover, not going to happen today, but actually it's the accountability that's huge.
Yeah,
100%.
An even more important question has come in. Someone has said, can I have a 10 a.m. t-shirt, please?
Oh my God, this is another thing for my shop that I'm going to do. 10 a.m. t-shirt, yes, absolutely.
Brilliant. I'm just wondering if I've got any more. I don't actually have any more questions.
I saw one on chat. Can you see chat? I saw a few on chat. Actually.
Yeah, I think Vic maybe asked about which classes we maybe do, which I think we are the biggest.
Yeah, what kind of workouts are you doing? Weights, cardio?
We should be on commission for Barry's boot camp, the 3 of us.
Yeah, we should.
Keep them in the business.
Yeah.
Lil, why don't you explain how the classes work compared to the normal class? Because they are really good, aren't they? And they've got that thing of friends at the moment where you can get a free class.
Yeah, so they are doing friends with benefits. So you can, if your friend takes you in the same class, then I think you both get a free one the next time around. But yeah, we all love Barry's, and I think we were all a little bit skeptical at the start of kind of what a Zoom class would be. And I think it took a little bit of I think they were doing them for a couple of weeks before we all started, but basically they've got, I think what I love the most is that they've got some of the London instructors. Well, they've obviously got all the instructors, so it's great that you've got, like, you can pick and choose whose class you're doing, but they've got body weights, and then bands, yes, and then basically it's just kind of a high intensity workout, but they split the week into you know, every Monday is always like arms and abs, I think, and then it kind of changes throughout the week. But it's about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and it does just, I don't know, I think there's just something about it being on Zoom that you feel at the start. Actually, I kept switching my video, turning my video off, and I just kind of think, oh, I just can't be bothered doing that bit, I'll just, you know, take it easy. But actually they're calling your name as they would in a normal Barry's class, and it really does, like, I feel like my fitness is better than it was before lockdown, and it's nice to just not be like killing yourself doing cardio all the time and actually do some weights.
Yeah, I've done a mix. So I started off lockdown. So my PT at Hale, the gym, I've just paid up for 10 sessions. So she contacted me and said, I'll do basically 2 for the price of 1 if you want to do it on FaceTime. And luckily, I just built a little gym in my garage, so I had a treadmill and some weights. So that's another one of my things that's been an absolute godsend, because even before the 5 a.m. club, I was getting up and at least doing the gym at 7:30, and it gave me some structure. So I do that and the Barry's classes. Also, I've got into Pilates and yoga, so something I've wanted to do for absolute years, but never leave work on time. So I've been going to Zoom classes for that, because I think if you pay, you're more likely to do it. But my watch out is, so this week and last week, because I'm back in the office, I'm not getting back for 6 to do it, and I really, really do want to do that, because I'm feeling so good about that. So I need to try and do that. I've just seen another question, which was, have you found some of your employees feel pressured to answer emails that have been sent at 5 a.m? Do you mind if I answer this, because it's something that I've always taught. So I've always got up early, so I will tend to, I've always been super honest with the team that my day is pretty much normally back-to-back meetings. So my catch-up time is evening or first thing in the morning. But they know they don't have to reply. They know that basically that is my time for getting stuff done. And, you know, I don't expect them to respond until like after 9 the next day. So I think it's just about communicating to the team that that's just your way of working, the best way to work. It's not what you expect from them, but yeah, I don't know if that's the point. Anybody else has got that as something that they get.
I think it's just, you make things work for you, and everyone has had to be a little bit agile with their working life. I mean, I don't run a business. I'm part of a team, and my fellow team members wouldn't reply to my emails that early, but it just, you know, sometimes I might get an email at 10 p.m. and I'm not going to reply to that. So it's just, you make it work. Sometimes, actually, a little hack for you, sometimes I write all my emails out and then I schedule them to go at 9 a.m. so they hit inboxes right away when people sit down at their desks. Sometimes that's good. And then, you know, if you don't actually, if it's not appropriate, if it's a client or something, you don't want someone to see that you're up that early, then that can work too.
Yeah, I think it is about communication, because I've had this, actually, me and my friends have this debate that some of them strongly feel that I shouldn't be messaging, that we should schedule emails. But I do think it's about communication, because I say to my team, as long as you're online between our core hours at the moment are 10 till 4, and then some work earlier and some work later, and they know that I work earlier, but then, like you say, then in the evening, unless, you know, we communicate in certain ways, that if there is something urgent, then it's a WhatsApp as opposed to, you know, a Teams or an email. And I do think that that's just about saying it rather than not saying it and people feeling like they have to.
Yeah.
Another good question here, actually, from someone, just about book recommendations in terms of how you've developed your work, your business, your life skills, that sort of thing. Maybe one or two recommendations from each of you. Holly, do you want to dive in first?
Yeah, I've not read at all in lockdown, actually, but my big go-to when I started the business was Tony Robbins' Awaken the Giant Within and The Secret. And randomly, I'm re-listening to The Secret at the moment, and I feel like it's making it loads more positive. So they would be my two probably at the moment, but it changes depending on what I'm trying to improve on and stuff.
Brilliant. Jules?
We all love Rachel Hollis, so Rachel Hollis is a great one. I'd say The Universe Has Your Back by Gabby Bernstein is amazing as well, just for sort of slowing down Power of the Universe, and Thrive by Arianna Huffington.
I've got that to read. I've not read that yet.
Brilliant. Lily?
Yeah. I would say, Rachel Hollis' Girl Stop Apologising has absolutely changed like my year this year. I read it when I was away in January, and now writing down my goals every day, like, I could not recommend that book more to anyone. And I also, I'm not a reader unless I'm on holiday, but that holiday I read Jo Malone's book actually, and I thought that was really, really good, and really inspired me. I would definitely recommend that one.
I'll add one if I can.
Yeah.
Great business book called Legacy by James Kerr.
Oh, it's brilliant. It is brilliant.
15 principles that the All Blacks rugby team live and die.
Yes, I want to read that.
Oh, I've read it about 3 or 4 times. It's brilliant. Also, another really good author, you might have heard of him, Daniel Priestley, on the business front. He's written several books, all business related. Holly, I think you'd really enjoy his books.
What's his question? I know what it is. Is it Think?
What's his?
Think Slow. Oh God, I know exactly what you mean though. Yeah.
Key Person of Influence is one.
Oh, I've not read that.
And a lot of what all 3 of you are doing, and you're sort of enforcing the whole key person of influence pillars that he does. So I'll share it with you later. But yeah, James Kerr Legacy. If you run a business, that is definitely unmissable.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool. Any more questions coming in? So we're just getting to near 6 p.m. Or we can round up if we are nearly there. Or any other inspirational thoughts or hints or tips that you want to leave leave us all? Who wants to go first? Jules.
Holly loves it.
Go on, Holly. You go first then. You're on the cusp.
I think what would be a nice thing to think about is to think about who have you been your lockdown heroes, because I've got like all my best friends, my close group, so that's a given. That's a given that you're going to be, they're going to be there for you. I think it's people that have surprised me in lockdown. Juliet and Lily being 2 of them that have, have been a big part of my journey when I look back on this time, and a couple of other people as well. I think it's nice to acknowledge that and to make sure that, you carry on that, what we've built in this really weird time. And if you're in a small working group like we've just done for the team, I've just done a book which is it's called Make Events Lockdown. Make Events in Lockdown. And I literally got all the WhatsApp photos we'd sent each other and taken through lockdown of our Zooms and our gifts we dropped off and everything, and did them a book, because we're going to look back at this. I feel like we've been in this moment of time, in this big pause. And I'm going on a bit now, but I kept saying to myself, I just need a minute. I just need a minute to process what's happened, because this is massive. And we are going to get back into normal life so quickly. And the other Sunday, I just took a morning just to process those thoughts. So I would say don't waste. I know everyone's saying it, but don't waste this time. There'll be relationships you've made, things that have happened. Try and somehow commemorate the time, even if it is photos or keeping a lockdown box of little things. But this is something you're going to tell your family about, and your business. It'll be the story of your business as well in the future. And try and wrap it up in a little bubble and keep something from it.
Wonderful. Jules, any last thoughts or insight?
Yeah, I mean, I echo that. I would say, if you're going to start getting up earlier, if it's something you want, think about why do you want that. Don't just do it because you feel the pressure. Do it because you want that time for yourself. I would love to challenge everyone to try it next week. Try, wake up 1 hour earlier one day next week.
Oh yeah, we said we were going to do
1 hour. Yeah, and feel free to take a selfie, share it with Make Events, tag us in, and yeah, it would be really great to see, what you guys have thought about these thoughts. But yeah, do something for you, and don't be afraid, like Holly said, to look back. Take this time. If you're not a journaling person, if you're not a meditation person, you don't need to be spiritual. You can just sit with your thoughts and just jot down any words, any people, any moments. that have mattered to you, because we're going to look back and it's just going to be a defining point in all of our lives. So yeah, just take that time, I'd say.
Thanks, Jules. And Lily?
Yeah, I would echo what Juliet and Hull said. I think what I would say as well is just for people to be like kind to yourself, because I think it's really easy to, potentially like compare what we're doing to what someone else is doing. And I think everyone's lockdown situation has been tough for like so many different reasons. And I think, people that have children, like I can't imagine how challenging that must have been, and to have to homeschool, and to then have us saying do this, the 5 a.m. club. Like I think everyone needs to be kind to themselves, and social media can be quite difficult for that, that we compare what everyone is up to and think, oh, we've not done as good a job. But I think that feeds into what Hull said, to actually think about how much everyone has achieved throughout this time, and to be proud of it.
Fantastic.
What about you? What would you say if you got a pearl of wisdom?
I wouldn't say pearls of wisdom, but yeah, I think, as you say, it's been a moment that we're all going to look back on in 5, 10, 15 years and go, what did you take from that 3 months of absolute craziness? Well, let's just hope it is just 3 months of absolute craziness, and we're not going to get more waves of it, which probably we will do. But I think, yeah, for me, it's been a great period of reflection. I've reflected on my life, the fact that I've always been running, like the three of you, I've always been living out of a suitcase, running left, right and centre, always late for stuff. And it's just been an opportunity for me to sit down, reflect, reset, think about what's important, really I want to invest more time with my family and friends and do stuff that I really love doing. So I think that for me has been the most important. Right, we've got to 1 minute past 7, so we've done really well to keep it to an hour. Unless there's any other questions, I think we can wrap up now. And I think on behalf of all the participants, let me say a massive thank you to Holly, Jules, and Lily for just your candor, your authenticity. It's and keep doing what you're doing. It's so infectious, and the energy that you guys are creating is amazing. So. There's lots of thank yous that has been coming in from everyone. So, I echo what everyone's saying. So thank you all. Thank you, the three of you, very much. It's thank you for having me as part of this.
Oh, thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Can't wait to meet you, Lily, and I can't wait to meet you, Jules. We'll probably meet at boot camp.
We'll be on the treadmill at Barry's. We'll probably with the treadmill in between us all.
Yeah, exactly.
What we'll have to do, we'll have to go and do a Barry session together.
We're not have gin and tonic first and then do Barry's later.
Yeah, or no, you do Barry's at lunchtime, then have an espresso martini and then PKB. That's the way to do it.
Perfect. That sounds good.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, see you there. Sounds good.
Thank you.
Have a good 2 hours, remaining 2 hours of the evening, ladies. And,
Gonna set my alarm.
See you soon, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Cheers.